Now, in SYBSC, paper EL 4501, Unit 4, Wave Shaping Circuit. The chapter name is Wave Shaping Circuit. Now, first of all, we are discussing about the what is wave shaping circuit. The definition of the wave shaping circuit is it is the process of deriving desired waveform. It is the process of deriving a desired waveform from a given waveform is termed as wave shaping. I repeat, the process of deriving a desired waveform from a given waveform is termed as wave shaping. There are two types of the wave shaping. First, linear wave shaping. Linear wave shaping. And the second one is non-linear wave shaping. These are the two types of wave shaping. Now, what is linear wave shaping? In linear wave shaping, it has been observed that when a sinusoidal wave is input to the RLC network, that means resistor, inductor, and capacitor network, as they do not distort sine wave. They do not distort sine wave are called linear networks. But if a non-sinusoidal wave is transmitted through such networks, then the shape of the output waveform is different from the shape of the input waveform. Such a shaping of input waveform by linear networks, RLC linear networks, is known as linear wave shaping. Now, what is non-linear wave shaping? Now, in the definition of the non-linear wave shaping, when the shaping of the input wave to a circuit, such as clipping or clamping circuit, is done by taking advantage of the non-linearity of a semiconductor with the non-linearity of the semiconductor, then it termed as a non-linear wave shaping. I repeat, when the shaping of the input wave to a circuit such as clipping circuit or we can say clamping circuit is done by taking advantage of the non-linearity of a semiconductor. Semiconductor means transistor or whatever the semiconductor component. Then it is termed as a non-linear wave shaping. Now we are discussing about the linear wave shaping. Linear wave shaping. As stated earlier, I repeat the definition of the linear wave shaping. It has been observed that when a sinusoidal wave is input to a RLC network, active passive element, RLC are passive element, then output waveform is not changed in shape. Such RLC network, as they do not distort any sine wave, are known as linear networks. Now, what is linear wave shaping? But if a non sinusoidal wave is transmitted through such networks, then the shape of output waveform is different from the shape of the input waveform. Such a shaping of the input waveform by linear network is known as linear wave shaping. As we discuss here, the wave is passed through linear network and the operation involves are linear operations such as integration, differentiation, etc. type of the conversion is takes place. That means the wave is passed through the linear network and the operation involves are linear operations such as integration, differentiation, or we can say summation. We shall deal here the sinusoidal input and the shaping of the non-sinusoidal, that means step voltage, pulse wave voltage, triangular waveform or square waveform. These are the input of the such RC network. So first of all we discuss about the high pass RC circuit. So first we draw the high pass RC circuit. Here this is the circuit diagram, capacitor, resistor. This is capacitor R, this is resistor R, this is output voltage and this is our input voltage. We are applying here input any type of waveform, whether it is sine wave, square wave, triangular wave, whatever. But in our syllabus there is a sine and square. First we apply sine wave, what happen in the output. Then we apply square wave, what happen in the output. These are the high pass RC circuit. That means we are discussing here in this circuit what happened. The input is sine wave, what happened in the output. The input is square wave, what happened in the output. How this circuit works, whether it is works as an integrator or it works as a differentiator, that also we can see. So first of all, high pass RC circuit. This figure shows a high pass RC circuit. Since the reactance of the capacitor, the reactance of the capacitor decreases with increase in frequency, decreases with increase in frequency. The reactance of the capacitor decreases when increase in the frequency. The capacitor acts almost as a short circuit at high frequency. That means when the frequency is very high, the capacitor works as a short circuit. Short circuit means it is connected to the line. It is connected to the line. Open circuit means it is disconnected. These two terminals are disconnected. Hence, all the high frequency input appears at the output. So when it works as a short circuit, these two terminals connected, that means whatever the input that appears across the output. When it is open circuit, the input voltage it is not passing through this line and there is no output. That means the circuit acts as a high pass filter. That means at high frequency there is a output, low frequency the value of output very less, nearly very small. We shall now discuss the response of a such circuit to various types of the input. So now we discuss about different types of input we are applying and we can see what happen in the output. In our syllabus there is only two waveforms, sine wave and square wave. So first of all our input is sine wave. Sinusoidal wave at input. What happened? Right? So when we are applying sinusoidal waveform, that means our input voltage is Vi is equal to Vim sine omega t. This is our input waveform, sine wave. The equation of the sine wave is input voltage Vi is equal to Vim sine omega t. Vim, it shows the amplitude, omega shows the frequency, t shows the time. For 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, different value of time, what is the value of frequency, what is the value of input amplitude of the input signal, right? So this type of the signal, this is, we can say, a type of the signal, Vi is equal to Vim sine omega t, we are applying to the input of the high pass filter circuit. This is the high pass filter circuit. Then the current flowing through the circuit will be the current, that means here this is the direction of current. Current, it is denoted by small I, right? What is the value of current? That means I is equal to, or we can say input voltage Vi. What is your Vi? Vi is equal to IR plus I upon j omega c, reactance of capacitor. This I passing through the R, that means IR plus I into reactance of the capacitor. Reactance of the capacitor 1 upon j omega c. So IR plus I into j 1 upon j omega c. So Vi is equal, I is equal to Vi upon R plus 1 upon j omega c. This is our equation, and therefore the output across R will be, what is your output? VO is equal to IR. Output voltage VO is, it is equal to IR. So output voltage across the R is given as VO is equal to IR, and it is equal to VIR upon R plus 1 upon j omega c. It is equal to Vim R sin omega t upon R plus 1 upon j omega c, and this is nothing but it is equal to Vom sin omega t. This is our equation 1. See here, nothing but we put the value of I here, that means we are getting this. We put the value of Vi. What is your Vi? Vi is equal to Vim sin omega t. So we put the value of Vi, instead of Vi we used Vim. So in this way we are getting this equation, and we know that if Vi is equal to Vim sin omega t, that means VO is equal to Vom sin omega t. This we consider. We consider that Vi is equal to Vim sin omega t. Therefore, VO is equal to Vom sin omega t. So from this, VO is equal to, we are getting this, and this is nothing but it is equal to Vom sin omega t. Now put the value where? Here. Vom is equal to modulus of Vom e raised to j theta, and it is equal to Vim R upon R plus 1 upon j omega c. This is your second equation. Or we can write here also modulus of Vom cos theta plus j modulus of VOM sin theta, and it is equal to VIM upon 1 minus j upon omega CR, and it is equal to VIM into 1 plus j upon omega CR divided by 1 plus 1 upon omega squared c square r square. See here, this is your VOM real part, this is your imaginary part. See, VOM we write down in the real and imaginary part modulus of VOM cos theta plus j modulus of VOM sin theta. Then we are putting here V divided by R, that means VIM into R upon R upon R1, R upon R1, 1 upon j omega CR. Now, plus, instead of plus we are using minus because j square is equal to minus 1. We know that j square is equal to minus 1. So, instead of 1, we are using minus 1. So, we put minus j square. This j and this j cancel, that means minus j upon omega RC. Then this is equal to VIM into 1 plus, then multiplied by in upper and down, right? 1 plus j omega CR upon 1 plus j omega CR. So VIM into 1 plus j omega CR upon 1 minus j upon omega CR into 1 plus j upon omega CR. That means 1 plus 1 upon omega square c square R. In this way, we are getting this equation. Next equation is now equating real and imaginary parts. Now we differentiate real part and imaginary part. So the real part is equal to compare real part. We get modulus of VOM cos theta, it is equal to VIM upon 1 plus 1 upon omega square c square r square. And imaginary part, we get modulus of VOM sin theta, it is equal to VIM upon omega CR divided by 1 plus 1 upon omega square c square r square. In this way, we compare this. Real part it is equal to this, imaginary part it is equal to this. So we can write that we know that cos square theta plus sin square theta it is equal to 1. So in this way, if this is small a, this is small b, then a square plus b square, then we can write modulus of VOM, it is equal to VIM upon 1 plus 1 upon omega square c square r square, and modulus of VOM sin theta, it is equal to, or we can say A upon B, that means sin theta upon tan theta, sin theta upon cos theta, this is equal to tan theta. Therefore tan theta is equal to 1 upon omega CR. In this way, we find out modulus of VOM and tan theta. For find out modulus of VOM, we are moving the equation a square plus b square, this square plus this square, that means this square plus this square. So modulus of VOM square cos square theta plus sin square theta, cos square theta plus sin square theta, it is equal to 1. So modulus of VOM it is equal to VIM upon 1 plus omega 1 upon omega square c square r square. Same way, when we are putting equation A upon equation B, equation A upon equation B, so sorry, B upon A, sorry, B upon A, at that time modulus of VOM sin theta upon modulus of VOM cos theta, this divided by this tan theta, it is equal to 1 upon omega r into C. Now again, from equation 1, from equation 1, for output voltage, we find out that VO is equal to VOM sin omega t, and it is equal to modulus of VOM e raised to j theta sin omega t, and it is equal to VIM sin omega t plus theta divided by 1 plus 1 upon omega square c square r square raised to 1 by 2, raised to 1 by 2. Hence, the output voltage leads the input voltage by an angle theta. This shows that this leads the angle theta plus theta, right, from this. So we can say that the output voltage leads the input voltage by an angle theta, by an angle theta. Further, the ratio of the peak value of the output voltage to the input voltage is given by, further, the ratio of the peak value of output voltage to the input voltage, VOM upon VIM. It is equal to R upon R plus 1 upon j omega c, and this is equal to 1 upon 1 minus j upon omega rc or omega cr. This equation is coming from the equation 1 and equation 2. You can check this from the equation 1 and equation 2. We can write the output voltage upon input voltage, it is equal to this. Now also we know that j square is equal to minus 1. Putting this value here, we are getting this equation, right? Now let us consider that omega 1, it is equal to 1 upon RC, then VOM upon VIM, it is equal to 1 upon 1 minus j omega 1 upon omega, and this is equal to 1 upon 1 plus omega 1 square upon omega square raised to 1 by 2 at angle theta, at angle, write down here this angle theta, where theta is equal to tan inverse omega 1 upon omega, omega 1 upon omega. So we can write here the final equation VOM upon VIM, it is equal to 1 upon 1 plus F1 upon F raised to 2 all raised to 1 by 2 angle, this known as angle tan inverse f1 upon f, f1 upon f, right? This is our final equation. This is our final equation because we know that omega is equal to 2 pi f. So omega 1 it is equal to 2 pi f1 like this. So from this equation we can say that where f1 is equal to 1 upon 2 pi rc is known as lower cutoff frequency, is known as lower cutoff frequency, at which this ratio falls to 70.7% of its maximum value. At this frequency, the magnitude of capacitive reactance is equal to the resistance. I repeat, at this frequency, the magnitude of capacitive reactance is equal to the resistance. The maximum possible value of the gain is approached asymptotically at high frequency as shown in the figure. So we can draw the figure. This is VOM upon VIM. This is F upon F1. Then we are getting this type of the graph. This type of the graph. This is 0.1, 0.2, 0.1, 0.5, maybe 1, 2, 10, 5, like this. Right? This is our final graph, and this complete the theory when we are applying sine wave to the high pass filter circuit. This is our final equation, and we are getting the final lower cutoff frequency value f1 is equal to 1 upon 2 pi rc, and we also get the final graph on the as shown in this figure. That's all. Thank you.